jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to open an Art Spark kit today.
Oh, Miss Jacqueline, I love that song.
Me too.
But I did want to sing my song I just came up with. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Unicorn. Wait a second, that's not the words.
Oh my gosh.
But it is today because we have an awesome Art Spark Christmas unicorn kit.
So exciting.
And we are going to start today by painting this with some acrylic paint. Yep, I said acrylic. That means it's permanent. So go ahead and take this time to go put your apron on. Miss Jacqueline and I have our handy dandy aprons right here.
All right, guys, we are so excited to show you our Christmas unicorn painting kit. There's so many fun things inside this kit. I'm gonna go ahead and take out our unicorn today. And I'm just so excited. So this unicorn is made out of something that's breakable, so we just have to be kind of careful with it.
Okay.
But I have a paper plate out because we're gonna paint this. There's a lot of paint in our kit. So I wanna have something that is kind of protecting my surface. So I'm gonna go ahead and put her on there. And then I'll take out, look at this awesome paint, Miss Emily. Isn't this so cool?
This is some really nice paint. And the good thing about this paint is a lot of times kits come with paint that's not good quality. This is non-transparent, really nice acrylic paint. So hopefully you'll be very pleased with how your unicorn turns out.
Really nice and bright. And then there's also 2 paint brushes inside of our kit. And you'll notice that one is kind of skinny and small and one's a little bit bigger. And this will be important for when we're painting our unicorn. I'll show you guys why. Thanks for opening that up, Miss Emily.
Sure. When you open these, just be extra careful because if you open them really intensely, some of the paint might splatter. So there's 2 little tabs on the top and you want to gently just tug on them until they pop open. If you need the help of an adult, might be a good time to grab one if you're having trouble with this stuff.
It's a great tip. So before I get started painting my unicorn today, it's gonna be important to kind of come up with a plan. Because when I see this unicorn, the first thing I wanna do is paint her rainbow, which would be really neat. But this is a Christmas unicorn.
Right.
And I could definitely use a lot of bright colors, but it's important to kind of think about how I wanna paint her first before I just kind of get started.
Good.
And I'm thinking for her body, I think I'm gonna do almost like a turquoise, minty green kind of color.
Amazing.
And then I'll let it dry, and I think I'm gonna paint snowflakes on top of it.
Love it.
So that's really neat about acrylic paint. You can kind of let a layer dry, and then you can paint things over top of it.
And it dries quickly, like within an hour. So especially if you do a thin coat.
Exactly. And then, I don't know, Miss Emily, what do you think I could do? Because I still have the mane and the tail.
Well, Miss Jacqueline, I think since we're keeping this Christmassy, we could use red and then pink, which is kind of in the red family, for those special details. And then I think she should have golden hooves and a golden horn, kind of like sleigh bells. So I am just feeling so excited right now.
I am too. I think this will be absolutely amazing. All right, so I am gonna get started painting my unicorn, and I'm gonna do her body first. And what I wanna do, I'm gonna start out with my small brush because I know that I wanna kind of keep this turquoise paint that I'm gonna use off of her mane and tail. And whenever I'm trying to do something like that, I kind of start with my little brush and outline. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip it right in here. And you don't need to really like scoop it up. I just kind of dipped my paintbrush in and got some on there. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna kind of get really close and just move my brush, kind of like I'm driving a little car, right along where her mane is. And her head will be this color too. And then what I like to do is I kind of like to feather out my paint like this from that line that I made. And I know I really want to kind of mix in that dark green into it. I'm gonna do that right on top of this mint green and kind of mix it together. But if I want to keep my colors really nice and clean, what I want to try to do is clean my brush every time. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of take my brush, tap it on the bottom of my water bowl. I have a water bowl all ready for me here. And then I can kind of dry it off on a paper towel. And I'm going to get some of that green and I can just kind of mix it in. Let me get somewhere.
And you'll have a lot more control of your colors if you keep your brush dry and not really watery.
That's exactly right. if I let it get super watery, it would maybe kind of start dripping off of here. So I want to make sure that, you know, that's not happening.
And your paint might get more transparent.
Right. So I'm just kind of moving this around here, and I'm going to do the same thing over here and just kind of outline it. And remember, if your paint does get somewhere that you don't really want it to go, that's okay. You could, you know, just kind of go with it and leave it there and let it dry and then paint over it later. That's what's so neat about acrylic paint. You can really just kind of paint over areas if you let it dry. But I really love the way this is looking, and I'm gonna keep going until I kind of paint her whole body. But I'll leave those areas blank that I wanna keep for like pink and all that. I'm just gonna work on this.
Oh wow, Miss Jacqueline, you did a wonderful job painting the unicorn.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun to paint this unicorn, and I'm just letting it dry right now.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna kind of work on the other parts. So
That's perfect.
yeah.
So we have some awesome model magic here now that we can use to make some special added embellishments to our unicorn. And to start making them, I'm just gonna open these bags, which can be a little tricky, so I'm gonna use my scissors. And then I like to have all the colors to work with when I start. So this is a great opportunity to practice your mixing. I have the primary colors here. I have white, red, yellow, and blue. And I really am going to use a lot of white and red, but another Christmas color I'm definitely going to need for this is green. So we are going to start by mixing up some green. Ms. Jacqueline, how do we mix green up?
Well, I know we're gonna need our yellow and our blue for our green.
That's right. And I don't want to take all of my yellow and all of my blue, because later on I might want to use some yellow or blue. So I'm just going to take like a portion off for each thing. And I know I do want to make a little Christmas tree to go near my unicorn as well. So I am going to actually make a lot of green.
That's a good idea.
And I want it to be kind of like a normal, like a dark Christmas green. So I think I'm gonna do probably, we'll go
A little bit left. There you
I
go.
think this will be good. You need a lot of yellow usually to make green, otherwise it turns into more of a deep turquoise color. So, all right, Miss Jacqueline, could you mix that up?
I would love to.
And then I do want some purple and orange to work with, so I'm going to take some blue and red.
Right now I'm just pulling it apart and pushing it together. That's what we do at ArtSpark to mix up our model magic. It's fun to say over and over too. Pull it apart, push it together.
And I know I want to make a snowman too, and a snowman always has a carrot nose, so I will need orange as well. So I'm going to take a little bit of yellow and red. You need more yellow than red for orange, because red is a really strong color. And then, yep, I'm gonna mix it up. We always say pull it apart, push it together. Pull it apart, push it together. Pull it apart, push it together. Pull apart, push it together. Pull apart, push it together. Pull apart, push it together. And then we're just gonna keep mixing these. All right, so now that we have all the colors mixed, I'm gonna talk about an awesome candy cane striped wreath that can go around our unicorn's neck. If you wanna make a different kind of wreath or have different ideas or a vision for your unicorn, absolutely go for it. This is just one idea that we have. So I'm going to start by taking some of my white and I'm going to take some red, about equal parts of each, and then I'm going to roll each of them into snakes that are equal in length. Not actual snakes, but just like
Do you want me to roll your red one
Yes,
for
please.
you?
Thank you.
Sure.
And when I roll, I try to make sure that I'm not pressing really hard in one area, because then my snake will get a lot thinner in that spot. So I'm gonna try to just roll this out like this. Okay, I think that's good.
I think my song is about the same.
Yes,
It's a little longer, but
that's okay. All right, so now I'm gonna take these two cylinder little snakes and just kind of make them friends just like that. And I'm gonna take some scissors and cut off the excess.
it's fun to cut the model magic.
It's very exciting. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this here and twist it. And it's already kind of starting to look like a candy cane. It's getting a little more twisted on the ends, and I want it to be equally twisted. So I'm gonna try to make it evenly twisted. And once I've twisted it, I'm gonna roll it so it all stays together.
That looks so cool.
Thank you. And now it's gonna be like a little wreath that goes around her neck. So I am gonna kind of gently figure out how big it needs to be. Boop. Okay, that's where my extra is. Kind of left a little mark, I'll cut that off. Okay, that's a great idea. So I kind of just made it slightly thinner, and now I'm gonna cut that off. Boop. So now, I think what I will do is I'm not gonna wrap this around until I'm completely done, but I can add some embellishments to it. I'm gonna add little bits of holly to it, and we have this really beautiful green. So I think for my little holly pieces, what I will do is kind of just, I usually start by rolling a little ball, and then I'm gonna pinch it, and then I'm gonna kind of just shape it with my fingers by pinching it in different ways, and kind of just take those little pieces and press them on.
Yeah, Model Magic, if you stick it to another piece, it'll immediately stick. So
It absolutely will. So I'm gonna just pinch and create some little leaves now, little holly leaves to go on. And everyone knows holly has these little berries on them as well. So I'm gonna put those little tiny berries. I just pinched off a little bit of red. Boop.
Oh, that looks so great.
Thank you. So much fun to
You're
make.
welcome.
All right, so Miss Jacqueline, I think that looks pretty good. I like that. I think I
it
could
looks awesome. I love
put that on there. I think that'll look super cute. I could keep adding more holly if I want. And then Miss Jacqueline and I are gonna use all the extra to make some fun things like a snowman and a magical Christmas tree and other details. And you can use your imagination to keep working. So yeah, have fun with your model magic.
Our unicorn, her body is all painted, and I really love the way it turned out. I think it was cool to mix those two colors.
That's awesome.
So now what Miss Emily and I are gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and paint her mane and her tail, and we're going to use the pink and the red together. And then you have to make sure, if you want all this beautiful glitter that comes inside here, we're gonna sprinkle that on. You have to make sure your paint is wet when you do that so that your glitter sticks to it.
That's right.
So right after we paint these things, when it's kind of still shiny, that's when you're gonna sprinkle your glitter on. So, okay, we're gonna go ahead and do that. But I'll put this right here. And then, Miss Emily, do you wanna paint the tail?
I would love to.
Okay.
I think,
You wanna get our glitter ready first?
yeah. Now, the awesome thing about all this glitter is we have it in every single color to utilize on this project. If you don't use it all on this project, you can just save it in this bag for another day. But we wanted you to have the option of pretty much any color of glitter. So I have these different pinks here, and I do want to get, let's see. Yeah, so this is red actually. Okay, so we'll use this red and this pink, and I think that should be
that'll
perfect.
look great.
Maybe we could put a little bit of white in there too.
Oh yeah, that'll make it more like a peppermint.
Perfect. So I think what I will do to contain this, I'm gonna cut it open and then just kind of gently sprinkle it in here, and just kind of, I'll mix all the colors in this one container.
That sounds great.
And just kind of make a little mixture here of some pretty glitter colors that'll look nice together.
Yeah.
And then from there we can just pinch and sprinkle, right, Miss Jacqueline?
I think that would be great. So if you guys have like a little cup at home that you could put your glitter in, that would be perfect. Because then you can pinch it with your fingers and sprinkle it on. And we're gonna do that over top of our plate too, so that it doesn't go everywhere. Glitter likes to do that, but
That's right.
all right. Oh, that looks so beautiful, Miss Emily.
I really am excited to use it.
Me
Okay.
too.
So we'll go ahead and start painting, and
Yeah.
as it's wet, we'll sprinkle on top.
Yes, that sounds great.
Yeah, and it's nice that this part's all dry, so the glitter won't really stick to that part.
Right. And if it does a little bit, that's okay. It'll look really special and beautiful.
now that we have finished painting the beautiful pink and red mane and tail and sprinkled the glitter on as we worked, we are going to work on the horn and the hooves. And for that, Miss Jacqueline and I have agreed that they should be yellow with gold glitter. So we're gonna get our gold glitter going here. And then I think we just have to finish with the eyes and painting some little snowflakes on her. And she is just looking incredible.
No, we're so excited about her. She looks great.
Yeah, so if you take your time on this, I'm sure you will just be as thrilled as we are with the outcome. So just take some time now and work on those details on your awesome little unicorns. And here we go. To work on is just a really small detail, but it can have a lot of power if you spend a lot of extra time on it, and that's the eyes. So for my eyes, I do want them to have a little sparkle to them, and I want them to have an iris, like a pretty color kind of around the outside. So I think I'm going to use this little bit of a darker blue I have here, and I'm gonna start by just making a little circle in the middle of my eye, almond shape. And I'm just gonna kind of go slow, and I might just fill it in and let that section kind of dry. And then I'll do that on both sides. And if I want, I can go back and do a little, like go over top of the white unicorn with white too, to make it a little bit more white. And I think I'm gonna do a little black. There's a little eyelid on her, and I'm gonna take my brush and clean it and then do, I think, black, so it kind of looks like she has like eyelashes there.
Oh, that would look nice.
Do you think that's gonna shine?
I do. I think that'll be good.
Okay, I want to have a lot of control with my brush when I'm doing this part, so I'm gonna make sure it's really dry, so I don't have like any drips happen. So I'm just gonna do that very.
And it's important too, for all those little details, use your smaller brush, your little tiny one. And if you have any super tiny brushes at home too, you could use those. But I don't think I told you guys, when I filled in my unicorn's body after I outlined, I used the bigger brush because it was such a large area, and that really helped cover it a lot. So it's important to try to think about what kind of brush you want to use for things.
That's true.
That looks great. I am gonna make those snowflakes now on my unicorn's body because it's all dry right here. And now that I've got that layer, I can go ahead and kind of make some teeny, really pretty little snowflakes. And I think while I'm doing that, Miss Emily, were you gonna add something else to the front of her?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little Christmas tree, kind of right near her tail.
That sounds awesome.
Okay, so Miss Jacqueline and I were hard at work embellishing our unicorn. I added the Christmas tree, and Miss Jacqueline added all these awesome and beautiful snowflakes on her. I'm gonna go back to painting her eyes, and I thought it might be helpful for you guys to be able to see a little bit more closely what I'm doing. So I already put the blue iris and the little black line over top, but now I'm going to add a little black pupil in the center and some little highlights. So to do that, I'm just gonna take my brush and do a little tiny black circle right here. On both sides. I already did it on this side and it's already kind of drying. I just want it I'll just kind of come back over. And then I do want to add, I think, 2 little like eyelashes on the end, just to, you don't have to do this. This is just something fun I thought I could add on the edge of each part. Okay, and now I'm just gonna add that white highlight. I think I'm gonna do it on this side first because it's a little bit more dry. And to do the white highlights, I'm just gonna use the back of my brush and barely touch. Maybe I'll just do the one. I think I'll just do the one. Well, yeah. It's kind of like where your eye is reflecting a tiny bit of light. And then I think I'm gonna clean my brush and paint the whites of her eyes. And just kind of so they pop a little bit more. All right, so now that I have completed painting her eyes, I just want to do a close-up of kind of what I did there. And now I'm going to add her wreath around her neck now that everything else is dry. And I'm just gonna kind of slowly wrap it around, just like that, and kind of just gently pinch it together there. Oh, so pretty. There she is. And now I'm gonna put her in her little home that we've created with Model Magic, just like that. What a magical place she exists in. I just love it. And something else you can do is take your art kit box and paint a little world for her to exist in beyond what we've done so far. You could paint a beautiful backdrop. You have lots of extra paint available. So when you're finished for the day, go ahead and close these up so that they work really well the next time you want to use them, and wash your brushes, because once again, that acrylic paint is permanent, and if it dries in your brushes, they won't work anymore. So wash those up, and I hope you guys had a wonderful time making your magical unicorn. Miss Jacqueline and I say it might be one of our favorite projects we've ever done.
For sure.
Have a great time, a Merry Christmas, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.